people of the internet. All right, so the topic of discussion, of course, it looks like it comes from a channel called Holy Culture, right? They titled the video, "There's Something Wrong with Black Culture." And at times I do agree. A lot of the times I agree, as a matter of fact. But I want to get a little bit more context as to what they're actually talking about and see what you guys think as well, too. So let's go ahead and watch some of this and see what the topic of discussion is on this one.
On Kendrick's last song, and the Breakfast Club started talking about it. And I think we're uniquely qualified to talk about this because the young lady, Lauren LaRosa, said something that we've heard over and over and over again since we started doing music, since we started doing this. And it's a challenge that we are still trying to figure out how to break through. But listen to what she said.
If you're just joining us, we played D1's track as I don't want to say a response to Kendrick Lamar, but as Charlamagne said earlier, it's kind of like passing the baton. We also just played Lecrae, so we're just getting your thoughts. Hey, what do you think, Lauren?
You think, or you asked me if I think people want that?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's phenomenal music. I think people want balance. I do think people want balance.
Who are people? Like, what people are you talking about?
Humans.
It depends. So you're talking about like everybody as the world.
Yeah, people.
I don't think so. I think
You don't think people want balance?
No, I think that there are a group of people who are okay with listening to what they listen to that is not conscious, that just makes them feel good, that they just party to, and then they move on.
Yeah, and then there's a whole group of people who want to hear stuff like that. And that's what I mean when I say balance, because we're talking to all of those people, Lauren. We're not just talking to
Yeah,
the
but
rappers.
I'm asking you, I thought you meant that all people want the balance. Like they want conscious and they want the other stuff too. I don't believe that all people want both.
Oh,
I think
all people? Probably not. No, I couldn't make a broad generalization
I think it's also where people are in their life. Like, some people want to hear party music. They want to hear different types of music. Like Lauren wants to turn up. She don't want to hear positivity. She don't want to hear black man put your gun down. She don't want to hear let's work together. She wants to hear.
And I think
what?
And I think the problem.
I party with you before, Lauren. I know.
In a party, no, I don't want to think about the trials and tribulations of the world. I just want to have a good time.
I think that's been the problem with radio for so long. The problem with radio for so long, especially hip hop and R&B radio, is that we only super serve one audience
When it comes to it, yes. At times, yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's what Kendrick is saying on the party. The party must die. The party is dead. The party must die.
Party's dying, or whatever.
The party must die. And I love Lecrae's responses, and I love D1's responses.
But like you said, most radio stations don't play that side of it. Like you rarely will hear Lecrae. You rarely will hear D1. I mean, at times you rarely hear a Kendrick.
But isn't that because
you rarely hear a J. Cole? You know what I mean?
Don't the stuff that y'all have to program to play, it goes by what's popular, right? So
that's my thing,
even
Lauren.
if you're a DJ that's into all of that, like the balance,
but
you
that's
don't
my
have a choice.
You're right, but here's the thing. If you look at the last 15 years of hip hop, right? The biggest artists ain't even really on that. The Kendricks, the Coles, even Drake. Like Drake, he makes those records. But
Let's pause right there real quick. For a little bit of context, right? So let me backtrack a little bit. What they're actually talking about in this video, of course, and I guess this came out a little while ago. Shout out to this channel as well, too. Again, the channel is called Holy Culture. So they posted this 9 days ago. But for a little bit more context, of course, they're talking about just music in general, right? Just the culture in terms of, and it's so funny because I was just speaking about diversifying your palette, right? When it comes to like music, whatever the case is, your music taste. So in this video, of course, they're primarily talking about how the music that is prevalent on the radio, the music that is prevalent, just in our black culture, isn't always the most positive. And they're talking about the personal preferences of people. Of course, you heard the young lady, I forgot her name. She was saying that, in her personal opinion, she doesn't care to hear too much. I guess she was maybe speaking on the setting. But she doesn't really care to hear too much positive music or lyrical music if she's out in a club, whatever the case is. She'd rather hear the good, feel-good music. She doesn't want to be burdened with the trials and tribulations of the world while she's listening to her music. Cool. No harm, no foul. I feel you. Okay, cool. On the contrary of that, of course, you have Charlamagne and Envy. Of course, shout out to the Breakfast Club. They're talking about saying basically, well, the radio only caters to one specific type of audience. Like, we don't necessarily cater to everybody. We specifically cater to the people who, whatever the case is, listen to X amount of music. We don't have, play an even amount of music for, the people that like lyrical content, the people that like gospel content, the people that like, Afro beats, of course, this, that, and the other things of that nature. If you listen to the radio, and that's why I stopped listening to the radio so long ago, is that like, you're going to hear the same 8 to 10 songs in rotation, and of course based off of, and of course, you know, I think they were getting ready to go into it a little bit as well too, in terms of what even constitutes a song to even be, you know, playable on the radio. Is it what's popular? Is it what, you know, who paid? Of course, we're hearing things about the industry and how the industry works, the inner workings of the industry. A lot of the criteria of these songs that make it on the radio and make it on these, you know, streaming platforms and playlists, it's all marketing. It's all, you know, paid and who knows who and relationships and this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. But the essence of the video, of course, is what I want to kind of get into. Of course, they title it, "There's Something Wrong with Black Culture." I kind of want to go a little bit more. The video is a little bit long, but I wanted to give at least a little bit of context in terms of what the overall thesis is of this video, right? Out the gate, I'm just going to say, me personally, like I've been saying this for some time with no shame, like, and of being an African-American male, right? I feel like in our culture right now, anytime you say anything against the quote unquote culture as a black person, they're quick to call you, oh, this coon, this fool, oh, he's uppity. He's one of them uppity blacks. You know what I'm saying? Or he's one of them bougie blacks. Nah, bro. Like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of things in our culture that's counterproductive. Let's just keep it real. Like, and I'm not the only person that says this. Of course, I feel like there's a lot of people that agree with this sentiment as well too. But nah, bro, I think there is a lot of things in our culture, our music, or, you know, let's even implement, you know, these podcasts now. There's a lot of things in the black culture that's not cool. I've been saying this for some time. There's a lot of things in our culture that is counterproductive, bro. Like, why are we glorifying certain things, you know, that shouldn't be glorified? If we really take the time to dissect some of the lyrics that are happening, you know, that we're hearing in our, you know, popular music, it's counterproductive. It's counterproductive, and it's so funny. That's why I even started the stream. And I didn't even know it kind of all ties in together, but that's why I even started the stream when I was playing music, and I played Santa Gold Outside the War. It's because, yeah, man, it's not really what you're going to hear from mainstream media. It's not the everyday, you know, rah, rah, rah. Don't get me wrong. It's a time and place for all of that, right? Because I always hear people say, man, they would agree. Some people would agree with this young lady here and say, yeah, man, I don't got time to be hearing the lyrical, this, that, and the other, lyrical, spiritual music, or whatever they want to call it. They want to listen to some turn up, some feel good, something that sounds good in the car. And I hear you, man, but I think it's all about balance. I think it's all about a little bit of moderation, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the radio doesn't cater to none of that. The radio caters to one specific audience if it's only that audience that listens to the radio. There's a lot of people that listen to, and of course you can rebuttal and say, well, that's why you have different stations. This station can play, you know, gospel music. This station can play Afro beats. This station can play, you know, hip hop and R&B. Yeah, that's cool. But even within the hip hop and R&B stations, the music within there, I feel like it's counterproductive at times. If we want to keep it real. But let me watch a little bit more of this video, see if there's any more content. It's a little bit long, but I want to see how deep they go on this topic. Let me see something real quick.
Right. So
But that's my thing,
even
Lauren.
if you're a DJ that's into all of that, like the balance,
But
you
that's
don't
my
have a choice.
You're right. But here's the thing. Oh, if you look at the last 15 years of hip hop, right? The biggest artists ain't even really on that. The Kendricks, the Coles, you know, even Drake. Like Drake, he makes those records, but Drake also makes stuff that makes you think whatever. But then
Correct.
you think about the Big Sean's and the Wale's and
Yep.
the Chance the Rapper. I'm just thinking about all the people who have been popping over the last 15 years,
Yeah.
right? You know, the Rhapsodies, who else? It's a bunch of them,
Right.
Right. But even with those people existing, you still find a way to play the low vibrational stuff that's
Yeah, but
that's
but
in the
also
clubs, I
but
guess.
also what most people don't know when it comes to radio stations, right? A record label picks a single and they go for that single,
Right.
so they push that single hard.
They still
And-
do that now?
Yes, and
No.
in the majority of the singles that they push are the records that are not like your Lecrae's, or the records that's not like D1's, or
Yeah.
very not too much. You don't hear that many J. Cole records. You don't hear that many Kendrick records like that.
Because you got a bunch of salute to all the new guys that's doing that too, though. The Russells and the Earth Gangs.
I love
the
LaRussell.
Sminos.
Like, I love him. I love his music. I love the content he puts out. I love how he don't care about nothing but what he does. But
Yeah.
a lot of people like him don't break through and they're not able to live off of what they're doing. He's doing very well
They could.
for himself.
But you also got a lot of older executives in place who aren't really paying attention to that, and they're so programmed to only do what it is they know, which
Yeah.
is research. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They
All
still.
right, let's pause right there. So basically, I mean, yeah, that's the context basically, man. So of course you hear it in the conversation there. Of course, these people it looks like they're listening to give their reaction as well too. But that's the main takeaway. Basically the subject matter is the music that's predominantly popular in the black culture is counterproductive, or it's not balanced enough on our mainstream platforms, or your radio stations, your Spotify playlists, this, that, and the other, yada yada yada. And I'm glad. I'm actually proud to see that Charlamagne and them are taking accountability, because I used to say this a lot, man. Let's keep it real. And I think it sounds like he was getting ready to go into that. But talking about these label execs, man, and like the radio, like you're part of the blame. Charlemagne and and you know, all these other radio stations, like, you guys are the people that are, you know, to some degree, are the people that are in charge of what we hear on the radio. So I'm glad he took a little bit of accountability and saying, like, yeah, man, like we don't, like, we are. Why is that? I'm glad he was open to the idea of catering, you know, questioning the idea of why does radio do that? There's how many people on this planet, how many people listen to the radio? Sometimes you hear people say, oh, radio is dying, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, like, yeah, there is still a large demographic of people that listen to the radio. And all these, you know, commentators, radio stations, these podcasts, like, y'all are in charge. Y'all go up there Monday through Friday or however many days y'all work. And y'all, to some degree, I guess I don't know the inner workings of how radio stations work, but y'all sit there, y'all host these interviews, y'all call these artists on board, of course, you host these interviews, you know, listen to the music, and then you two are admitting that the music is low vibrational. You're admitting that the music is, in a lot of situations, counterproductive, bro. And again, like, I pride myself in being able to listen to a little bit of everything. I'm not saying I don't listen to, I was listening to Future the other day, blasting it. Blasting it, of course, yeah. And you got people that only want to hear Future, and I can't knock you for what you like. You like what you like, cool, no problem. But I think when it comes to us as a culture, and again, this even goes back to a video when I was talking about Dr. Umar, man, when I think it was the 50 years of hip hop, our culture was celebrating 50 years of hip hop. And Dr. Umar hopped out there and said, man, hey, in the last 50 years, the culture ain't done nothing that we should be celebrating about. And I agreed with him. What has the black community, what has hip hop, what is it, the hip hop culture, popular hip hop culture, what has it done for the black community in the past 50 years? If we're just talking about the subject matter, the lyrical content, what's popular, what's mainstream, I want everybody to stop right now and think about what's popular. When you hear black hip hop music, is it positive? Does the strong majority of our music show us in the best light as an African American community? The music videos, the lyrical subject matter. When you think of the popular mainstream music that's in our black community right now, does it show us in the best light? I think that's self-explanatory. The answer is no. The answer is no. Even if you want to rebuttal. Now, people will rebuttal and say, oh, nah, man, but nah, it's all what you give your attention to. I'm talking about the mainstream media. I'm talking about the mainstream media and the mainstream culture right now. What's at the top of these, you know, playlists? What's at the top of these, you know, that's, you know, at the forefront of the mainstream culture right now? It's not music that shows us in the best light. And these labels can be the blame of that as well too. I think they were getting ready to go in that as well too in this video, talking about like these label execs that are signing these artists and bringing them on and giving these multi-million-dollar deals. Come on, bro. They're not part of the black community. These label execs, they're not from the black community, so they don't care if the music is detrimental to us. They don't care. It's what sells. It's what's good. What has the best return on investment? You know, so they'll sign hundreds of artists whose subject matter, the core of their subject matter is sex, drugs, and murder. And they'll go to sleep good at night. And us, the culture that, you know, embraces it the most, of course, whatever the case is, will be the ones that gets the short end of the stick when it comes to music of that. And then again, you're not thinking about the younger generation as well, too. I always want to make sure we remember the younger generation, because the younger generation, the kids, of course, are the ones that are going to be the most impressionable to the music that we listen to. A lot of us right now, of course, you think, oh, that's not my problem. I know right from wrong. I can listen to this and not, you know, want to go hit a lick, want to go rob anybody. Yeah, that's you. But what about the middle schoolers? What about the elementary schoolers? I feel like kids are resonating with music or listening to music younger and younger each day. So it's just like you might be able to decipher right from wrong when you listen to music, but what about the younger generation? What about the little kids, the middle schoolers, the high schoolers that are listening to Future word for word, that are listening to all these other artists word for word and how they depict how they went to go slide on the ops and they got the Glock on the hip and sipping this and pouring that and popping that and women and hoes? And what about that generation that's maybe taking that word, you know, taking it at face value and not, maybe doesn't have the ability to decipher from right from wrong? I think we got to be mindful of all of that, man. And I do think that is a problem in the black culture. Again, that was the thesis of this video. There's something wrong with the black culture, and they were speaking specifically to music. Let's not even talk about the other factors, what are the cases, but there's a lot of things in the black culture. I've said this, if I said it once, I'll say it a million times more. There's a lot of things in our black culture that we deem as cool, or that the mainstream media, you know, sells us as cool, but when we start to look, it's really not that cool, bro. The lyrics are not that cool, bro. The lifestyle is not that cool, bro. It doesn't really show us in the best light. Of course, some people say, oh, no, but what about the rock stars? Have you ever listened to the lyrics of country music? People will always rebuttal. Instead of just saying like, yeah, man, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Some people, nah, man, but don't only talk about us. What about the country music? Have you listened to the lyrics to some of these country songs? No, bro, I haven't. But I'm aware. And I know there's, what is it, screamo rock music? I'm aware. But I'm talking about when it comes to the culture, bro. Let's keep it real, man. The hip hop culture is at the forefront, bro. We kind of determine what's in and what's not, bro. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real, man. And a lot of the music in our culture is counterproductive, if you ask me. But that's just my thoughts, of course, folks. I want to hear yours down in the comment section below. What do you make of this thesis? What do you make of this idea that specifically the music in the black culture being counterproductive to us as a community? That's my stance. That's been my stance for some time. I am on the side of the internet or the side of our community that wants to see us in a little bit of a better light, man. I'm not saying we can't turn up and listen to what we listen to. Yeah, you can. Yeah, man, you can listen to I call it the rah-rah music, that rah-rah. Turn off that rah-rah, that racket, right? Yeah, we can listen to that, bro, but it's low vibrational. As Charlamagne himself just admitted, it's low vibrational, bro. There's nothing good can come from you listening to shoot 'em up music every single day. If your playlist is 99.9% rob, steal, kill, bitches and hoes, come on, bro. Nothing good can come from that. Listen to some uplifting music. Listen to some dance music. A lot of y'all are angry because y'all you don't dance. You don't got no different vibes in your playlist, bro. And you wonder why you're upset. You woke up in the morning and the first thing you hit play on was NBA YoungBoy, and you wonder why you're upset. You wonder why your mood is all off. Look what you listen to on a day-to-day basis, bro. So I think that's a perfect segue to get into my playlist. Of course, we on the playlist, but we on the Chill Vibes playlist tonight, of course, as I mentioned. But definitely leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Let's get into the next one.